Hello, I'm Andrew from Quick Crop and Joraform Ireland, and today we are in the absolutely stunning Dromoland Castle in County Clare. What we're doing today is we want to see how one of our unique commercial composting solutions can help this beautiful castle hotel in dealing with the food waste from their kitchens. So we're going to start off by meeting Fiona O'Shea Stack, who is Health, Safety and Sustainability Officer here at Dromoland, and just talk a little bit about what she hopes to achieve from the unit. So Fiona, I've been wandering around this truly incredible estate this morning while we were setting up. Now, unfortunately, the weather didn't go our way. It's got quite showery, so we've had to come indoors, but we're inside this beautiful traditional greenhouse. I can see beef tomatoes, basil, grapevines growing here. What an incredible place to work for a sustainability officer.
Yeah, beautiful. It's lovely to walk in, to drive into work in the morning and look around and see the rich greenness of the resort in the trees and the grounds. My first couple of days starting work here, I had deers run across the road in front of me, which just really shows the biodiversity of Dromoland Castle.
Whole different world. Yeah, fantastic. And then obviously Dromoland has a big commitment to biodiversity, to sustainability. You personally, obviously, as well as the officer. Do you want to just tell me a little bit about maybe what's been done so far and then maybe plans for the future?
Yeah, so it shows Dromoland Castle's commitment to sustainability by implying a sustainability officer in the first place, and it just shows what we are doing, in that we want to change the practices and procedures and how we bring sustainability to the property. We're working on a number of initiatives at the minute, and these were the targets we set out for 2023, being looking at our waste management within the property and our waste streams and how we can tackle them and how we can reduce that, and using the circular economy in that process. We also have looked at areas of water conservation, how we better use our water, and biodiversity on the estate. Yeah,
there's so many facets to it, I guess.
Absolutely, yeah.
So I suppose the one we're interested in today, because it's the machine that we supplied that we're all very excited about, is the composting and the kitchen waste. So I suppose, you know, in any large hotel, with your food prep, your peelings and all that, and then obviously there's going to be waste food coming from the dining room, from the kitchen, that there's a significant amount of material really that needs to be dealt with. But I know obviously from your point of view, the importance is to turn that into something valuable.
Yes, absolutely. Every hotel has food waste, and that's something we can't eradicate, but we can work on reducing that. So at the start of the year also, I looked at how we can work on that. I spoke with a number of industry colleagues. I'm lucky to have 25 years of experience in hotel management.
Right, yeah.
So I have that to benefit me as well.
Do you know how the whole system works?
Yes, I met and engaged with the team members. I put together a food waste training program to do with my chefs.
Okay, yeah.
So I did that training program with the chefs and got feedback from them on what we can do better and what they would like to see us doing. It gives them enrichment in the work that they do also. And a number of the colleagues spoke about composting, and how we can move that process from composting to expanding our vegetable and herbs, and that's exactly what we're working on.
And you've got that right beautiful, as you said, circular economy where we're taking food waste, we're composting it, we're growing in it, and then that beautiful fresh organic produce can take pride of place on your menus.
They love it every week when we come. I bring the herbs to the kitchen. They're all running and looking at the baskets and seeing what's in it and the smells from it. You can get that in here this morning.
Look, I mean, you guys can't get it on the camera, but the rich smell of basil in here, so make me hungry. So then, just in the composting solutions, I suppose, what attracted you, I suppose, to the one that we're supplying, which is, I suppose, it's a longer process. But we would feel...
it is a longer process, but I come from a farming background from my youth. I understand what it takes to make compost, and I know the process that it has to go through. I know this isn't an overnight process or something that can be done in a day or two. So when we looked at the Joraform, certification of the compost and me being able to see documented what are the nutrients, that was really important.
Yeah, I mean, it's we have a number of units in Ireland, but I suppose it would be relatively recent for us. But this system, this particular machine, with a couple of modifications, has been working in Sweden and has been part of Sweden's municipal waste system for, I think, nearly up to 30 years now. So it's tried and tested machine. But look, we've had a nice chat about what we're doing in Dromoland here. I'm excited to go down and actually look at the machine in action. Will we take a stroll down and have a look at it on the go? Now, Fiona, we've just been chatting on our way over here, wandering through these lush gardens. And I forgot to ask the first time, but what are you going to do with all this compost?
Yeah, we're really excited about the compost that's going to come out of this machine and the rich nutrients it's going to provide us for the grounds here at the Dromoland Castle. So we're going to use it as a peat substitute on our golf course. We're also going to use it in our herb and vegetable garden, which we're planning on expanding next year. But currently, right now, the first batch of compost that came out of this is being used in our orchard for bedding around our apple trees and pear trees.
Yeah, so you've got to use it already. So this machine's been in about 5 weeks now. Is it nearly 6 weeks? Yeah. So it's a 4-week process from food in one end to compost out the other. So we got our first batch, which was great to see coming out. I don't want to keep you, Fiona, because I know you're really busy going for another Green Award. Isn't that right? International one this time. Right, so I have one last question for you, which is really about the installation of the composter. And how did you find that? Was it a reasonably easy process for you?
No, for us it ran really smoothly for us. The composter arrived a week ahead of schedule, which was great.
Quick Crop by name.
Started meeting to go on.
Yeah.
So it was really good. All it took then was having a forklift to move it into place. We had phase 3 power to put in place for in advance. And it took you guys a couple of hours to put it into
get up and running.
And to get up and running. So from our point of view, it was a very, very easy process.
Yeah, and then I mean, I know you've got one of your key guys, Frankie, who's running the machine and feeding the machine, if you like. But your experience then, I suppose, of the day-to-day process of it, has it been simple enough?
Frankie has been excellent, and he's really engaged in this, and he loves researching compost and the quality of the compost for it, so that's excellent. But even from a whole kitchen team here at Dromoland Castle, they've all been really excited to come down and see the operation and see what happens food and what comes out the other end. It's also, we're going to use it as an educational tool going forward as well, with the school tours who come in here and engage with us in relation to garden tours. We're going to be able to bring them in here, show them what
see the whole process.
Exactly, so they can see the food coming to the kitchen, into the machine and out the other end, and we can show, and it's an educational tool for them to bring home at a young age. Absolutely,
just like composting is a process, sustainability is a process, you know, it's great to see that. And for us it's just so exciting to be able to put a unit in a place like Dromoland that has that fantastic ethos, to see that whole circular economy.
Absolutely, and I have a certain budget to work with in relation to sustainability, so picking this project was really important to me. Something that I knew we were going to get positive return out of, and that it's something that engages our team here as well and shows our commitment that we're ready to put revenue into sustainability and bring it through.
Brilliant, and we very much appreciate it. Obviously, we're going to be talking to Frankie a little bit later. I'm going to run through how the machine works. You already know this. You're a busy lady, so I think we'll let you go now. Okay. And thank you very much for your time.
Thanks for your time, Andrew.
Cheers. Okay, so let's just run through a quick explanation of this unit and then just also look at how it actually works. So, as I said, this is our JK6200 composter, and that's the largest commercial composter that Quick Crop supplies. Now, this unit can process about 40 tons of food waste in a year. That's 40 tons going in our processing end, and then at the other end in 4 weeks' time. Over a year, you're probably going to get about 12 to 15 tons of high nutrient, compost for your garden. So if we look at the different parts of the machine then, down this end, which is the real action end, this hopper is where the food waste enters the machine. At the base of the hopper, we have a grinder mechanism, and that basically grinds up the food waste. The idea there is that it's going to increase the surface area of the material, and that means then that the beneficial bacteria, which are actually doing all the work here, are able to break it down quicker. So our food waste comes through the grinder, as I said. The machine also adds automatically a portion of wood chip pellet, wood chip pellet product. And what that does is it balances the carbon-nitrogen ratio of the material going into the composter. Now this is important. It's the same in any other composting system. It's the balance between carbon and nitrogen. Once you get it right, that's what gives us really hot composting, which is fast composting. So as I said, this is automatically added. Once the material is added to the hopper, I should explain actually that due to a safety switch here, the grinder unit cannot work when the lid of the hopper is open. So once the material has been added, the lid is closed, the machine senses this, and then it will automatically add the wood pellets into the mix. So we'll just go down and we'll have a look further down the machine, and let's look into the different chambers, and then finally at the end, the other end, where the finished compost comes out. So this part of the composter, and these two sections here that you can see, is actually just simply one chamber, and that's what we call the hot composting section. And the reason for that is obviously because it's the part of the composter that generates the most heat. It's going to get up to about 65 degrees, and at those temperatures the material will break down really quickly. Now, there's no heating system to this. That's not where the heat comes from. It's from the beneficial bacteria, the composting bacteria. As they digest the waste, they're respiring, creating energy, and that's what creates the heat. Now, if we poke the camera inside the access door here, you can see that the inside of this chamber has rotating mixing paddles or blades, and that basically mixes the compost. We're getting air into the compost, which is very important for to be breaking down quickly. You may be able to hear in the background a fan going, and that fan is constantly sucking air through the system. So we're mixing and we're adding air, and after adding our correct mixture of carbon and nitrogen, we're creating really the perfect solution for breaking down waste food. So if we move on now to the maturing chamber, it's very similar but very different content, so let's have a look in there. The other side of the unit is pretty much exactly the same. The only difference is really the stage that the material is at when it comes through here. So, as I think we said, the compost in the hot composting section spends 2 weeks in there. After 2 weeks then, a connecting door is opened between the two, and then that screw paddle system also works to push the compost into the second chamber, and this is the maturing chamber, and the material spends a further 2 weeks in here. There still is some heat in the compost, but it's not anywhere near as hot as the hot composting area, and that allows it to break down further. It will also dry out a little bit because of the air being sucked through the composter, and then at the end of the 2 weeks, which is a full 4 week cycle in total, then the hatch at the other end of the machine, which you can see now in the picture, is opened, and then that same paddle system is going to gradually remove the compost from the maturing drum into a crate or whatever way that you want to take it away, and at that point it can be brought directly to the garden. Just to compare then, let's stick the camera in this side as well. And we can see the paddle system going around again, and you can see really clearly the difference in the compost. It's a lot lighter, it's a lot more fluffy. We can see that the particles are smaller, and the stage you're looking at it there, it's been in the second chamber for about 4 or 5 days, so it has another 10 days or so before we empty it out of the machine. So in a nutshell, that is it. It's a very simple system, but what I think is absolutely fantastic about it is it actually works. Composting is a process that takes a little bit of time. We have created here in this unit all the conditions by our carbon-nitrogen ratio, as we said, by the air going through it, by mixing it, all that, perfect conditions for aerobic composting. And what we're getting out the other end there is a very high nutrient compost that can be used directly in the garden. Now, we are aware of various other solutions on the market, some of which have some very interesting claims, like, for example, making compost in 24 hours, which, to be honest, is simply biologically impossible, because the material takes time to break down by the composting bacteria. That's how the process works here, it's how it works in your garden, it's how it works out in nature. You simply can't hurry it along and do it in 24 hours. What I'd also ask you to remember is that if you're interested in one of these machines and you're in the hospitality industry or any situation where you would also like to take the compost and grow your own produce from it, Quick Crop are the fruit and vegetable growing experts and can supply and advise on any size kitchen garden, which will allow you to use your food waste to make high quality compost, then to grow some fabulous homegrown natural organic food that can go straight back into your kitchens and take pride of place on your menus. If you'd like one of these units, or you'd like to learn any more about Quick Crop, the vegetable growing and composting experts, please check out our website, quickcrop.ie, or call us on the phone on 01 524 0884. Thank you very much for watching.